Wow. Hello, everybody. And we're back right here on the Nothing But Net Hooked on Hoops podcast, brought to you by Hoops Flicks Plus, powered by
Pangos.
I'm your co-host, Patrick Pratt, along with my co-host, Dinos Trigonis. And we're going to be talking about the camps that happened this summer. It's glad to be back. It was a long, busy summer, but we got a lot of content to talk about, so we're here.
And we're going to talk about the Pangos All Euro Camp, second time we've had it in Athens last August, which was about a month ago or so. Ronnie Flores and I were in Athens, Greece, August 6th and 7th at the IEK practice facility. AEK, Ike practice facility, which is a pro team, first division in Greek Pro League. We had about 65 campers from roughly 13 or so different countries. And it was a solid camp, a lot of surprises like normal. And I think we also had the brother of the previous camp, MVP Noah Penda, who 2 years after the inaugural camp was drafted number 32 by the Orlando Magic. So we have a pretty good track record out of the gates for this camp. And I think as we host these camps in the future, I think we'll have a growing element of future Euro prospects that will do well both in college and maybe even several in the NBA as well. So, Ronnie, thanks for joining us. I know you were there in Athens, and there was a solid group of guys. I think 2 or 3 really good storylines. What was your take on what you saw, and who did you think stood out to you the most in Athens?
Yeah, speaking of that camp, the second one we've had, biannual, the camp was high-level talent. And I think the difference is that you don't have a lot of preconceived, notions or reputations like you do maybe at American camps when you're looking at younger players. You just go in there with the open mind, and it could be high level. Wow, maybe these guys, there's a few NBA guys where you're like, hey, maybe it's just guys that are developing and want to get better and get more exposure. But I think if you look at some of the top guys, and again, I don't want to say their names, butcher their names, so excuse me if I do, but obviously I won't butcher Mohamed Silla from Athens, Greece. And Mohamed is about 6'9", 6'10", forward, 228. I mean, when you learn that he's just 15 in his ability, you realize that he is a long and great chance to play this game for a long time. So Mohamed Silla is a name that comes to mind, and Dimitris Nanapsis, also of Athens, Greece. Strong kid, did really well. More of a true back to the basket player, about 6'8", and he's listed as a 226. And another player that stood out, also a local player there in Athens or from Athens, is Georgios Tipalianis. And Dinos, you can help me with the pronunciation there. 6'9" forward. Those guys were really good.
Along with Brewster Academy as the post-grad. Brewster Academy.
Got it. So he was listed as a 225, and like you said, he's going to be getting some taste of the American scholastic system in the post-grad. And obviously, Swan Penda is the first guy we're mentioning, but also the first guy we mentioned that's not from, or not listed as a hometown in there in Athens, Greece, more from Paris, France. And then when you go down to Noel Emil Lewis, he's probably the first guard worth mentioning. He's from Novi Sad, Serbia, 6'3" guard, listed as 226. He had a great camp. So overall, Mohammed was 15, Dimitris was 18, Georgios was 17, and Swan was listed at 17. So various abilities and various ages, and but one common denominator is they all have a bright future. Just a matter of what level. We'll see that here, in the years to come.
Well, let's talk about Silla real quick. Silla is a French Guinea native. Amazing story. Has ended up in Athens. I think what I was told at the camp, he's only been playing basketball for less than a year. They kind of found him in a homeless situation. I think he's lost both parents, adopted by people in Greece. And him playing in August, like we saw, for a guy playing a year or less, potential is scary. I mean, the
Yes.
upside is through the roof. And as he learns the language, both Greek and English, he's potentially a guy that could come to the States in a year or two and do a lot of damage. His rim running, his aggressiveness, his nose for the ball, his rebounding, rim protection, were all top notch for a younger player, and worthy of being the MVP of the camp as one of the younger guys.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you don't expect coming in if it's a Hall high school age camp that 228, which is now listed as, you know, classified as a sophomore, is going to be the MVP. But he was well deserving. Obviously, there's other kids that were.
Well, the co-MVP,
worthy of
Ronnie,
mentions.
Demetrius, who mentioned, Demetrius Dopsis, who was the starting center on the Greek under-18 national team that had just played also this summer in the European Championships. He's headed to our good friend George Zidane's Veritas Academy in the Nike EYBL. And somebody who, you know, we should be on the lookout there because of his physicality, his strength, his ability to take up space in the paint. It'd be interesting how he adapts to the American style of play here in the U.S.
Sure. Yeah. You know, again, he's going to get good exposure, play against good players. And obviously, Veritas is, you know, going to be in the mix trying to win, you know, stay out of the cellar in that league. You know, it's obviously with IMG and more teams in it. There's an East and West component to that. Now 20 teams in the Scholastic. So, you know, Montverde, you know, Spire's new team. Obviously, Kevin Boyle went over there. So he's going to get the exposure. He's going to get a chance to do well. He'll be fine with the physicality. Like you said, it may just be getting used to the speed, getting used to the style of play. But as far as his ability, he's going to, you know, do fine.
And actually,
maybe be in line for some all-conference honors.
Speaking of Demetrius, I heard he just committed to Duquesne the last 24 to 48 hours. Duquesne University.
The Dukes, Norm Nixon's
Wow.
alma mater.
Which is probably
Wow.
a good fit. A10, a good fit for him.
Yeah, good fit for him. More known as a physical league. And, you know, some back to the basket, you know, type of, you'll find those more players than you may out some of the conferences out west. So that's good for him.
Hey, Ronnie, you
And,
just mentioned Kevin Boyle.
He's from New Jersey, and he's been a long time high school coach. He was down at Montverde and
Premier high school.
previously at St. Pat's, where he coached Kyrie Irving and a few others that were well known.
Hey, Pat, just to bring you up to date, he was Kyrie Irving, Al Harrington's, Michael Gilchrist high school coach at St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's.
Cade Cunningham, Ben Simmons, D'Angelo Russell,
Okay. Ooh.
among others.
Got
So
a
he had
nice resume.
he's had a good run, and now he just moved over to Spire Academy
Oh, nice.
in Ohio. So he's starting that program up from scratch. You can bet on Spire being a major name you'll be hearing a lot about in the near future. Now let's go back to a player we mentioned that has as much upside as anybody at the camp. Brother of NBA draft pick Noah Penda. I really liked what I saw at Swan Penda. He's a guy apparently at his previous club in France, according to him, played kind of out of position. And even though he did not dominate at all times at this camp in Greece,
Sure.
the upside, the potential, the physical tools scream high major elite player to me. And a guy who potentially, as that jump shot continues to improve, it could be a legitimate NBA prospect.
Sure, because, you know, again, you don't expect that. As you look at his brother, again, we're coming in with kind of a open mind and a clean slate. It's not like we have here especially in the California in the States where we have a guy has a reputation or he's somebody's cousin or we saw him playing 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. It's just taking it for what it is over 2 or 3 days. So I agree with that. You know, like you said, at times maybe he wasn't as quite as locked in as his brother was 2 years ago, you know, from start to finish, but the potential's there. You know,
Hey, the guy
really
you mentioned
good
earlier,
rebounder.
Ronnie, Georgios Chipolianos. He's among
Yeah.
a group of guys that kind of used that camp to kind of get some exposure now. They're headed to U.S. prep schools. Giorgio's 6'9". Chipulianos is headed to Brewster. Be interested to see how he does there. He's kind of a rim running, active, athletic, physical power forward. Eric Cooper at Cooper Academy picked up 2 bigs that were top 30 at the camp. The first one, Nico Papa Alexandrakis, who was about 6'9", out of Athens, and Big Z, Zenon Papanidis, who's the Greek version of the big country. He just arrived here yesterday at LAX. So we got the big country Greek. Just came for Cooper Academy. And those guys, although they don't scream elite high major prospect, they're guys, their size indicates there's a spot for them at the right level and the right fit somewhere at the college level. And speaking of the guard, Novus, the Serbian kid, we talked about Noel Mantok Lewis. Another interesting story, Pat. Serbian mother, Jamaican dad. The dad is from UK, Great Britain. He's on the under-18 UK national team. And he's been in talks with several prep schools in the U.S. And you'll have a chance maybe to see him at the Tarkanian in a couple months, because he may be headed to Simply Fundamental Trinity Prep in Las Vegas. It's all it seems like. So you have a chance to see him there, Pat. Who would you compare him to, Ronnie? He's kind of a big, assertive scoring guard. Much improved over 2 years ago. The improvement, his growth, his strength improvement over 2 years ago is significant. Who would you compare him to, Ronnie?
That's a good question. I don't know. He's offhand. I'm trying to think. A good college guard. Listen, you put me on the spot. I'm trying to think of like somebody I could compare him real quickly to.
Rex Chapman.
He's more of a slashing with a good scoring and shooting, and he did do a good job. And I think he does have some D1 ability, and it's just a matter of him, finding, like you said, Dinos, these guys are committing and finding the right fit.
A couple other guys, Ronnie, we
done a good job.
Worth mentioning was the big kid out of France who actually played pretty well. Trying to find his name is Sidi Kanji, 6'10", 226, Biller, France. Bad rim runner, athletic, still raw in many ways. We also did the good wing scorer from Sweden. I really liked. His name was what was his name, Pat? It was
maybe it's Janalu.
Yeah, Janalu Junior Gidi. He's also 6'5", 28. Good with wing guard, can score. Noel and this kid were probably 2 of the top scorers there. We also had Evangelos Georgopoulos, who Pat you saw in Long Beach in July. Okay. He was on the Hellas Elite team, like a Mike Garrity type guard. Mike Garrity type point guard. Physical, strong, doesn't back down. And several other guys that, a few of which were in Long Beach in July. Zakos, Hectoras, Marcelos, a couple other guys as well. And it was a solid camp. And we look forward to getting back there. Maybe in the future we might be headed to France. Rotate this between Paris and Athens every other year and do the 2-step, the Trigonis 2-step. We're going to do the Athens Mykonos, followed by the Paris Ibiza, and then repeat. Yeah. Nice. Rinse and repeat. Nice.
I'm stuck on the name Swan. I ain't never heard nobody with a first name like Swan. He gonna make it just off of that. What country he from?
Paris.
Okay. Swan.
Paris, France. And a member of their national team system. Well, anyway, that's a wrap of the Euro Camp. Ronnie, thanks for chiming in. Pat, that concludes the recap of the Pangos Euro Camp 2025.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,